helpline for concerned parents is the latest move in the fight against gangs in Nottingham. Shortly, you'll hear from a Nottingham mother who, almost a decade after losing her son to street violence, thinks the problem lies firmly with parents and their failure to raise children properly. But first, David Mitchell is the man behind the Gang Avoidance project, and he joins us now. David, welcome to BBC Radio Nottingham.
Good evening. Thank you for having us on today.
Tell us how this idea came about for this hotline.
There was a national strategy launched by the Home Office, Communities Against Gangs, Guns and Knife Crime, and a big tender went out for organisations to come up with innovative ways to look at dealing with this issue. So myself and a few colleagues from Windrush Alliance, and there's a school in Nottingham called Alternative Education Provider, Education and Wellbeing. We thought, what's the best way we could encapsulate from the data we had, as in a lot of the kids that we have who are referred to us because they are at risk of exclusion or permanent exclusion, and listening to the stories about their lives and why they got involved in certain things. And we split it into three areas, which is our parent support program, which is the hotline that you're talking about, which is where parents can come in to see us at any time. We have a call centre which will confidentially have a conversation with them, because we found out from the research that parents actually don't know what to do. You know, they're very scared about, even tackling some of their children. They're scared of even, raising the issue just in case the window goes through or just in case their individual son or sibling gets hurt. We've also got the GAP project, which is the Gang Avoidance, which deals with children from as young as 10 up to 19 who are at risk of joining a gang. And gang's a wide term, so we do want to cover the gang of children in front of Booze Buster, trying to get the cheap fags and the drink and being a nuisance, right up to the top end of the scale, which is organised crime gangs, and getting individuals out of that lifestyle as well.
There is this problem that I feel particularly whenever I hear young people being talked about. The term gang is used very loosely, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it is a very loose term, and I suppose historically, if you want to do something in the UK, you've got to go with what the government gives you. So there's kind of buzzwords and keywords which, you have to fall in line to actually achieve your own positive outcome. So i.e. gang is N number of individuals, from our perspective, who are doing something wrong. So it's not the four guys who are just standing together having a laugh. That's not a gang. It's not the 20 guys training on a football pitch, and being abusive to each other. That's not a gang either. Gang for me is are individuals who have clubbed together and doing something which is either antisocial or criminal.
So where this helpline's concerned, if you're worried about your kids or your grandkids being involved in gang activity, you can call this helpline and get advice on what to do?
Yeah, we've kind of embraced technology. So there's two ways. The first way is you can actually text our call centre, and you text the word GAPS, and that's GAPPS, and if you text it to 077 814 82552, that comes into our call centre service. We'll get your number and somebody will call you directly, so you don't have to be afraid or think somebody else is going to find out about what you're doing. Or you can actually call the call centre at any time you want, and that's 0800 955 0875, and that goes through to one of our representatives and then initially have a conversation with you. We launched the project on Friday to the council, the police, CPS, and we had a really good response. And what's going to happen moving forward now is that our issue is parents don't know what to do. Okay, they're scared. They don't know what the police do in terms of, you're worried that your son or your daughter's involved in a gang. Are you going to phone the police? Probably not. The only reason you're not going to phone the police is because you don't know what the police are going to do. So we brought the police into this project so that we can have a workshop and we can sit down with parents, they can share their experiences, and the police can then say, this is how we actually engage this problem. There is a way out for you. There is a confidential way out for you. So don't be worried about your windows going through or your son being harmed. There are existing projects that obviously we're not allowed to talk about, which are on the go right now, and I think parents would benefit from knowing about it under this confidential banner.
Again, where this helpline's concerned, is it just gangs? Your kids can be getting in trouble across a whole variety of things. It doesn't just have to be gangs. If you're worried about something else, can you still call?
It is because of funding specific to the word gang. But if you're a parent and you're worried about your child being excluded or at risk of antisocial behaviour, then, it's a free service. Yes, ring it, basically.
Now, this month marks the 9th anniversary of the death of Trisha Bergan's son, Eugene, known locally pretty well, stabbed to death just yards from the family home. Trisha now works with a charity supporting families like her, bereaved by murder and manslaughter, and joins us now. Trisha, lovely to have you with us.
Hello.
Do you think a helpline for worried parents is a good idea?
Yes, I think it's a very good idea. This is something new that's in Nottingham, and we've got to do something. And I think it's teamwork as well. If we can get together and work together, we've got a better chance for getting these children educated.
You work for the charity SAM, which offers support for families after murder and manslaughter. Are many of the parents that you support worried about gangs?
They are. But having said that, I have said this to a lot of people. It's not, there's not a lot of people that get murdered by gangs. You get about 3 or 4 people standing at the side of the road, in a corner, and they're having a innocent discussion. The police drive past and they think, oh, look, there's a gang there. They're stigmatized by that. And in my case, my son wasn't in anything. He wasn't a drug dealer. He wasn't doing anything as such. He was just an innocent person coming home. And this perpetrator walked up to him, robbed him, took everything from him. No gang at all, no gang related of anything whatsoever. We don't know him. My son don't know him. And then, on top of that, pulled a 10-inch hunting knife and stabbed him in his neck, killed him instantly. He bled to death.
Just horrific.
Absolutely.
Do you think that it's unhelpful to use this label gang to talk about problems like like the issue that happened to your son, which wasn't gang related at all?
No, not at all. And I know a lot of families that I go to visit, working with Sam National, and there's lots and lots of people, not only sons and daughters, but brothers and sisters also get murdered. Don't forget that. Grandmothers, grandfathers, and it's quite a lot of them is not gang related. I think, youngsters has to be educated. It starts from home. And I think, when my children were small, I used to say to Eugene, when he was even 15, you got to be home for 9:30, 10 o'clock. And I was a one-parent family at that time. And he did come home. And I think, parents have to bear a little bit of responsibility for that. It's no fault of anybody to become a one-parent family, But, let's take, for instance, people that live in St. Anne's or any of these areas that's been labeled as being a very bad place. That is not to say that you've got bad people living there, because there's lots of children grown up by one-parent family, live in a council estate, and have gone on and they become very, very successful.
There is this fear, however, and David, I'm sure you'll know a lot about this fear that if you go and shop somebody who's involved in a gang, as you say, you're going to come home and your window's going to be smashed in. That it's all well and good to call this helpline, but if you go back to your area where these people are walking the streets, how are you going to combat that? How do we even go about starting to combat that problem?
I think for me, it's about being honest, and as Trish just said then, as parents we have to take responsibility. This issue is close to my heart from the point of view where my stepson was involved with something and I didn't know what to do or where to turn, and that's probably about 5 years ago now, and since then we've always had this passion about embracing the problem and being honest. So the helpline is to allow people to sit down and start talking, which is the first thing. Let's share our ideas. Let's look at how collectively as a city we can deal with this issue. Let's look at why we don't know about Sam. I'm sure maybe for a lot of the listeners, they've never heard of this. Is this something that they now need to get behind? One of our policies within the organisation is collaboration, and it's very important as part of this project that we connect with everybody across the city. St Anne's, Meadows, Radford, they all have existing projects which are working well, but we have a citywide issue when it comes to our young people. The fact that, okay, it's been labelled as a gang issue, but they're young people still the same, and that's what we're trying to change. And parents do have to take responsibility. We've got to look at, why does somebody prefer to be on the street than at home? That's the bottom line of it. Let's be honest. Home got to be something wrong, and I'm happy to say that, and we're quite happy for people to challenge it. But at the end of the day, happy homes breed happy kids. And that's it for us.
How do we find out more about the helpline?
You can go to our website, which is www.gapsupport, sam.co.uk, and all the information's there. Once again, you can text the word GAPS, which is GAPPS, to 077 814 82552, and we'll call you in confidence. And also the hotline number is 0800 955 0875.
And that's free and confidential.
That's free and confidential as well.
Tricia, for Sam, how do we find out more?
Okay, for Sam National, we've got a number which is 0845 872 3440. And you give us a ring anytime. There's always somebody there 24/7 to answer your call.